Welcome back to Horror Recaps. I'm Freddy, and in a few moments you're going to listen to a frightening tale narrated by me. Beware, fear awaits you. During a dark and rainy night, an old bus is parked on the street. A man approaches the bus and notices that all of the seats are empty. Moments later, the man starts the bus, and when he checks in the mirror, all of the seats are occupied. The 5 passengers in the back seats are in their underwear and have odd facial expressions, and just then, we notice a rat roaming around them. In the next scene, these 5 people are seen on a rooftop partying. Edmund, the CEO of a big pharmaceutical firm, is celebrating with them. After 10 years of research and lab tests, his team has successfully developed an antidepressant medicine with minimal side effects. To express gratitude to his lab technicians, Philip and Abdi, as well as his 2 secretaries, Oda and Margaret, and his wife Iselin. Afterward, he invites the employees to proceed with a barbecue dinner. While hanging out, Edmund becomes a little close to Oda, which makes his wife jealous. He then praises Abdi as the wisest guy in the company, which appears to upset Philip, given his years of working behind the scenes. It is unjust that his years of hard work have gone unacknowledged. Moments later, Margaret asks Edmund whether they can see the new drug's prototype. Edmund also eagerly agrees to her request. Nevertheless, when going to open the safe, he discovers that it has vanished. Shocked and horrified, he quickly approaches the security guard Bill and inquires as to who has been there. Bill then claims that no one has been in or out all day except his guests. This suggests that the perpetrator is among the 5 guests. In order to catch the thief, Edmund returns to the dining hall with Bill and briefly explains what happened. However, everyone is stunned and wonders who could have done such a thing. Edmund asserts that the culprit is among the 5 of them, but they all deny it. Edmund then requests that Bill search everyone's body. Despite their unwillingness, they all have no choice but to do as he says. Then, Oda stands up to try to persuade Edmund, but he walks directly to her to do the inspection. However, seeing this, Iselin becomes hesitant, so she approaches Oda and starts inspecting her body. After frisking each of them and not finding anything, Edmund is still not satisfied. He deduces that the perpetrator must have thought themselves to be smarter than him. Therefore, he orders everyone to strip off. Hearing this, no one takes his word seriously, and Abdi even laughs at him. But Bill quickly takes out a gun, ordering each one of them to take off their clothes. Abdi is the first to take off his clothes. Philip tells Edmund that this is excessive, but Edmund completely ignores him. Margaret cries in embarrassment, telling him that she's not capable of doing such a thing. Edmund, on the other hand, assures her that she shouldn't be afraid if she isn't hiding anything. Iselin then tries to stop him, but Edmund eventually forces his wife to undress as well. The 5 of them are only left with the undergarments now. Edmund and Bill begin carefully searching their bags and rooms, but nothing is discovered. Bill then informs Edmund that one of them must have flushed the prototype down the toilet. Desperate for answers, he takes them all to his laboratory and confines them in a small glass chamber with his lab rats. With this, he declares that they'll remain confined until the offender is caught. He informs them that the room's door has the same code as his safe, which holds the prototype. Therefore, the person who took it already knows the code that unlocks the glass room. Edmund then goes inside the monitor room to watch their reactions. Now, the 5 naked people are locked in a glass container with some real rats. Iselin immediately rushes and tries to guess the code, but she fails. Philip's face then twitches dramatically, shocking the rest. Margaret informs the others that this is his regular behavior when he is frightened. As paranoia sets in, the group begins to suspect one another. Iselin instantly points her finger at Oda, whom she already dislikes. She claims to be aware of Edmund and Oda's inappropriate relationships. Oda, on the other hand, firmly denies the allegation, claiming that she had no idea what the prototype looks like now. It would be ridiculous for her to steal something she had never seen before. Oda then accuses Iselin of stealing the prototype first, and then making her the scapegoat. Hearing this, furious Iselin attacks Oda, causing a fight between them. However, Margaret intervenes just in time and tells them to calm down. The tension in the lab has increased, and Philip's face twitches once again. As soon as he recovers, he defends himself. Being the only shareholder among 5, he has no reason to steal the prototype and sabotage his company. After that, he shifts the blame to Abdi. He claims Edmund promised to make the drug inventor the new partner, but has not fulfilled his promise. So Philip presumes that Abdi took the prototype in vengeance. Hearing this, Abdi doesn't show any fear or guilt. Instead, he points out that Philip is simply jealous of him. Just then, Iselin adds that last month, Philip complained in his own office that he made the drug, but Abdi was the only one who got the credit. Philip then acknowledges that he envies Abdi, but he believes that Abdi's success is due to the solid foundation he has built over the years. Abdi does not flinch back this time, but instead rises to confront Philip. He criticizes Philip's out-of-date algorithm and emphasizes that all calculations are done by himself. The two then get into a violent fight, and Philip knocks Abdi out. Simultaneously, the container on the table is pushed to the floor. Rats escape from the container and enter the lab. Meanwhile, Edmund has been observing them with no idea what is going on. He is upset with Bill for not conducting background checks while hiring. He then orders Bill to thoroughly investigate their backgrounds once again. Back in the lab, Philip says that if the culprit does not confess, they will be locked in the lab for the rest of their lives. However, Iselin is convinced that her husband would not endanger innocent people. Philip pushes on his opinion while knowing Edmund would do anything for money. He then recounts the company's dark history, which Margaret and he witnessed in 1999. Back then, Edmund's company lost a lot of money when its venture in Africa went bad. After that, Edmund offered his employees the opportunity to purchase business stock, and many of them invested their entire life savings. Edmund then went to the bank to file for bankruptcy, thereby ending their lives and their money. He began a new firm 6 months later, feeling no remorse for his awful actions. Back then, 2 employees committed suicide. But Edmund neither compensated their families nor attended their funerals. Philip claims that when he looks into Edmund's eyes, all he sees is boundless greed and desire. Despite hearing such a terrifying story, Iselin still supports and respects her husband. She expressed gratitude to Edmund for being gentle and caring toward her. Philip then mocks her foolish notion, telling her that Edmund does not even remember her birthday. Margaret has to remind Edmund of Iselin's birthday every year, and she even buys gifts on his behalf. In the control room, Edmund can't sit idle, so he comes up with an idea. He releases a deadly gas into the chamber, which will gradually kill all of them. He informs them that if the perpetrator does not come forward within 5 minutes, they will all be killed. His severe ruling causes havoc among the prisoners. After inhaling the gas, they begin to cough. In such a crisis, Philip suspects Abdi, who passes out, is the culprit. He realizes that if he stays unconscious, the rest would die, so he wakes Abdi up. Just then, Oda advises that everyone secretly write down the passwords they come up with and try them one by one. The thief's identity will not be revealed in this manner, and they can get out. Edmund feels enraged after hearing this, leading him to speed up the gas. The rats have vomited blood and died by this point. While the 5 suspects are still alive, Iselin begs her husband to let her go. But Edmund seems unconcerned about her. Just then, Oda enters the room's password and unlocks the door. This proves that she is the one who stole the prototype. Edmund rushes up to Iselin, trying to console her, but she rejects him. Oda then admits that she is a spy sent by a rival business that lost the competition to Edmund. She can buy additional time for the other firm if she ruins the prototype. Realizing that she flushed the prototype down the toilet, Edmund simply releases her. While Edmund escorts her outside, he reveals the exact cause of the betrayal. He claims that he knows she is the daughter of one of the employees who committed suicide, and she's been out for vengeance. However, Edmund shows no remorse or fear, despite indirectly killing her father. Oda then blackmails him, telling him to forget about this evening or she will have to reveal their affair to his wife. He then spares her by saying she's close to him and gives her one last hug before bidding her farewell. Soon after this, Edmund looks in the mirror and notices that his pocket square is slightly misplaced. This is when he realizes the prototype has always been with him. Oda had taken it from his safe and tucked it into his coat pocket. She slipped it out again as he hugged her farewell. After this, he immediately rushes after her and takes his prototype back, unaware that this was all part of her plan. When Edmund returns to his lab, Iselin and all of his co-workers are waiting for him. They realize he does not trust them at all, and Iselin knows he has been cheating on her with Oda all along. She greets him with a gun and forces him into the glass room. And Margaret turns the gas on. Iselin informs him that the combination is her birthday, and that if he loves her, he should be aware of this. Edmund has no recollection of his wife's birthday and is in a state of panic. He makes many unsuccessful attempts. Tragically, Edmund soon collapses on the floor with foam flowing from his mouth. Please make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.